Hey my friends, how's it going? It's Ultimus, and for today's video we're going to be talking about artifact weapons, artifact power, ketchup, not the condiment but the actual ketchup mechanic that is going to be coming soon a little bit. And I also want to talk to you guys about getting a little conversation going on what your thoughts are, your honest critiques on artifact weapons. Going into Legion, this was one of the big deals. This was something that was no small announcement. One weapon, entire expansion, putting all of your effort, many resources, much time into developing this weapon that's going to travel with you and go with you throughout the entire expansion. Now, because of this, they did what I thought was an excellent job. I'm at the wrong spot of giving us quite a few different skins that we have access to. And of course more that we're going to be able to get throughout the course of the expansion for what I've been able to see and understand. And that is a big deal again. So we have, these, we've got the ones which you complete your artifact storyline, we've got these bad boys here, we've got those ones, and there's even the hidden appearance, all that stuff. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So there is some decent customization there so that you more or less do not have the exact same weapon as everybody else throughout the expansion pack, right? Alright, cool. So, what I'm curious about now is, I know my own personal thoughts, and we'll get to that in a little bit on what I think about the artifact weapon and how it's played out. But I want to know right off the bat, we're going to start this off with the questions. I want to know what you guys think about artifact weapons. Not necessarily if you like your classes, because that's all aesthetics. That's not what we're talking about here. Some people love and hate the way their artifact weapon looks. Like, I guess it's one of those things where it's kind of tough titty said the kitty, but the milk's still good, or something like that. Something my dad used to say. I'm not here to talk about aesthetics. I'm talking about the mechanics, the core, because this is a big part of gameplay, right? Everyone's pretty much well aware, at least if you played WoW in any previous expansions. Weapon drops were the big deal. Weapon drops were really what you were after, even in PvP, right? Things got real when you had enough conquest points to get your PvP weapon. Again, that's what everybody was after in Rage. You wanted your weapon upgrade. That was a big deal. People fought over weapons. Guilds split up over weapons. Friends split up over weapons. Like, weapons were not a small equipment slot. I mean, obviously, every piece of gear is important, but weapons were a big deal, especially for melee classes, right? Let's just throw that out there. Now, with Legion, we've got these weapons that we're working with the entire expansion. We're growing them, we're developing them, they're getting stronger as we go along, unlocking new traits. There's even relics that we can mess around with that will change the way we mess with, some of our abilities and our traits in the artifact weapon, making some shine and a little bit brighter, and allowing us to customize a little bit and tweak some of our spells as we prefer. Like, for example, let's just say, I have a little bit of a mental love affair going on with I-Beam, which I do. If I can find the right relic to increase the damage for I-Beam, I don't actually know if it exists. I'm imagining it does. I'm just picking one off the top of my head. That I can make I-Beam do a butt ton more damage if I get the right, relic slots for it, and vice versa. I can make my Metamorphosis, which with all 3 points put into Unleash Demons, right, goes down from 5 minutes to 4 minutes. If I can get a bunch of more relics to put into that, it can take the cooldown even farther, which means I have more big cooldowns uptime than other demon hunters, which obviously means more damage output, which puts me higher up on the meters. It lets me contribute more to the group. But I want to know how you guys are feeling, how this is all working out mechanically. Do you like the artifact weapon, the way it plays in on a mechanical level? Do you like just having one weapon to worry about, or do you miss having weapon drops? And I really am hoping, please stay objective about this. Don't just jump on the old WoW was better, everything old WoW was better, because that's how it goes every expansion, right? You're playing an expansion, it's the worst expansion you've ever played, it sucks, oh my gosh, the previous expansion was better than this, and then we get to the next expansion, and it's like, oh man, even that, it's always older's better, we're going to drop the hipster mentality here. But do you guys miss weapon drops? Because let's be real here for a second. This is something a friend of mine and I were talking about as we were gearing up for Legion. Is weapon drops have always been a huge part of MMOs, right? Like that's a big deal. So now that we're few months now into Legion, Legion dropped what, September, I think? No, last day of August. That's right. I remember that joke. Last day of August. So we've definitely had Legion for what? September, October, November. We're in December now, so almost 4 months now we've had Legion. I feel like this is long enough to actually have some constructive criticism and actual proper opinions on artifact weapons. From my stance on it, I personally really like it. Now, I was pro artifact weapon from the start. I had my concerns about it, but I was all in on it. I wasn't like, I don't know. I was willing to give it a chance. I was like, all right, I'm sold. Let's do it. Let's see what happens with it. Now, one of the reasons I do like it is I like the illusion of more talents. Now, what I mean by this is obviously eventually you're going to get all of these. You're going to get all of these. If like even especially on your main, like eventually you're going to just fill all these up. Bottom line. And so it's the illusion of choices more or less as you're growing and progressing your character. Like eventually your character is going to be on par with just about everyone else as far as artifact power goes. Minor, tweaks here and there. Very similar to how old school PvP or old school talents were, in the sense that you had these talents that you had to take no matter what, and they were very minuscule talents, stuff like you get 3% more haste or whatever as a Fury Warrior, right, or however stuff like that worked. You were going to take it anyway, so it really wasn't a choice, but it was the illusion of choice, and it was more of an illusion alluding to your character getting better, even though you were going to take those as it was. And I missed that, and I feel like having the artifact weapon back with all these talents to choose from, and really you can fill them out in any order you want. Like I started over here, did that, took some into Metamorphosis because I really wanted a shorter cooldown on that, and then I went all the way over here, grabbed that, shot back up, grabbed that. I have this because of a artifact or a relic slot, and I'm not really just sure which direction I'm going to go with it, but I can go whichever direction I want, and it doesn't matter because this is an alt. And one of the reasons I'm showing this character as an alt because I do want to talk about catch up as a mechanic in a little bit as well. I've had this Demon Hunter to max level for a couple weeks now, like total, but I've only really played for a few hours more or less into it. And she is item level 846, which isn't impressive, but it's enough to get into Mythics now. She does have her first legendary, which is the crap legendary, but it's a legendary. Great for item level. And we're about, this far into our artifact weapon. So we'll keep that in mind as we come back to talk about alts and catch-up mechanics a little bit later. But, yeah, overall, I like it. I really do like the relic slots. I don't necessarily like how, again, and this has been my biggest gripe with Legion so far in every aspect, has been the amount of RNG. Like, I don't mind a little bit of RNG, but, like, if this is the whole expansion, like, this much RNG or this much whatever, I don't want the whole pie to be, just RNG. It's like going to the store and, you really want a cheesecake, or an Oreo cheesecake, and it's like rolling dice on whether or not you're going to get the orange, or the orange. Actually, orange doesn't sound bad at all. Whether or not you're going to get the Oreo cheesecake, you might, roll bad and get a banana cream pie, which, as far as I'm concerned, is disgusting and should be eradicated from the face of the planet. But hey, if you like banana cream pie, that's cool. That's you can enjoy that. Don't worry about sharing. But I do like that you can use these to tweak stuff, because I use the term a lot, like breaking the limit or limit breaking, and I know that's a Final Fantasy term, so please don't sue me, Square Enix. But you're breaking the limit of what the proposed rules are, in the sense of, like, you have critical chaos, right? Normally this is a 3/3 talent, so increases the critical strike damage of chaos, strike by X amount. But I have +1 in there from my Blood Totem brand, which is up here, so now it's up there. So now Chaos Strike is dealing even more damage, which again, great. And I like being able to pick which spells. Now, for a good period of time at least, you're going to be picking, relics for item level, not necessarily for what talents it affects, but eventually you get to that point. But I'm a very big fan of the talents. I do like the customization of it, more or less, or the illusion of it. I really don't even mind using the same weapon throughout the entire expansion. I don't. I like not having to go in and worry about if my weapon is going to drop. Because, true story, I kid you not, when I came back to playing Retail WoW at the very end of Wrath of the Lich King, and I got into Cataclysm, and I was getting into dungeons, and I was running heroics, and I was really nervous and really timid because this was my first time back to the game. I was really rusty. Bottom line, I actually just sucked because I just was out of the game for so long. as far as like, playing retail and stuff like that, and actually stuff that mattered. And so I was doing heroics, and I kid you not, I was gearing up my arms warrior, Ultimus, who at the time was Daedalus, the Tauran warrior. And it took me, I kid you not, it took me 40 heroic runs to finally get a decent weapon. Like, it was insane. Like, every dungeon I ran, it didn't matter what it was. I was like, man, I just need this weapon, and I'll be great. And then I'll be in a better spot, and no weapon dropped. No weapon dropped. Like, literally, not a weapon dropped. It wasn't that I got outrolled on it. It was that it didn't drop for me. Now, I know it's a very special case scenario. Not everyone has those situations. And I know that's just the nature of the beast. That's MMOs. Like, that's what I'm signing up for. Like, I just have to be okay with that as a possibility. But I like that with artifact weapons here, this has kind of removed that. And all I need to focus on is gear. Gear, artifact power, and then this. Because on one end, it's just switched. Like, you're switching that from your focus on getting weapons to now, let me just get artifact power. And then on the flip side of that, it seems like, because of this, almost obviously gear is a lot easier to get. Like, looking at my world quest right now, let's take a look at this. I've got all these options for gear up here, like, which is great. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna have to go get that later, because that's actually for both. I've been having this problem where all the relics I can get via world quests are all for the Eldrazi war blades, and so I got to go get these relics here for my war blades. Awesome. But there is a lot of gear up here, like a lot of 840s, 845s, like, whether or not it's all worth getting, that's, to be seen, but the fact is it's there, which is how I was able to gear this Demon Hunter up so quickly, which was a little bit different than previous expansions, because previous expansions it was a little bit more of a chore to gear up. So, and I bring this up because everyone's freaking out about the catch-up mechanic, right? We need more catch-up mechanics, and we know they're coming, and I do agree it would be really nice to be able to put a butt ton of artifact power into my alts and just get this artifact weapon powered up as good or as close to my main. But the reality is, you really don't need your artifact weapon decked out as much. I mean, the most important thing really is getting that third relic slot. I mean, your talents are important, yes, but you're still pulling, at least for me in my case, on this Demon Hunter, I'm still going into heroics and stuff like that, and doing dungeons and PvPing, and doing what I'm supposed to do and doing it effectively. Mass amounts of AoE damage. I'm pushing upwards of close to 800,000, almost 1,000,000 DPS, depending on the fight on my Demon Hunter. Now, I know that's cheeseball meters. I'm not talking about boss fights and single target stuff. Like, I'm not a Mythic Raider. But for just dungeons and Mythics and stuff like that, my Demon Hunter is effective, and it's doing its job. She's doing her job. And this is with minimal talents, not even my third relic slot open yet, which I'm in the process of getting, so calm down. But I guess my point is that while the catch-up mechanics that are coming are going to be really nice, I don't feel like they're as necessary as some people try to make them out to be, unless I'm just flat out missing something. Again, I feel like third relic slot's your best. I could see people turning you down if you don't have your third relic slot, which, I mean, people are always going to be picky about who they want to play with anyways. So I don't know. Overall, I really like the artifact weapon system. I think it's really cool. I would really like to see it expounded upon and taken into further expansions. I really would. I know Blizzard has said that this artifact weapon in particular that we have is going to be for Legion only, which is, now that I've had time to play around with it, is actually a little bit disappointing to me, at least for the time being. It might be too early to say that. I mean, that's my stance on it now. My mind could change on that in months to come, or as we get closer to the next expansion, whatever that is. Give me something Old Gods and Naga, please. But I overall very happy with the artifact weapons. I think they're fun. I do understand most people's criticisms of it, though, and I understand some of the drawbacks. I just find that, for me personally, the enjoyment of it outweighs the drawbacks, and I'd be happy to see more of it. So that's kind of where I stand on it. I really want to know what you guys think, so please, out of all the videos we've ever made, let's leave a comment down in the comment section. Just let me know your thoughts on artifact weapons. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you love most about it? What do you hate most about it? And as much as possible, please try to stay objective. I try to encourage intelligent conversation and stuff like that. Not really a big fan of bandwagon arguments and stuff like that, but I know it's the internet. It is what it is. But yeah, let me know also too how far along you guys are in your alts and their artifact weapons. Do you feel like the catch-up mechanic is necessary and we needed it quicker, or are you good with where things are at? I really want to hear from you guys. But all of that to say, this is about where we're going to wrap this video up. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it, if you felt like it's worth dialoguing in. Got episodes of Vlogmas going up each and every day. As of the time this video goes up, 8 will be up from the previous day. We'll be working on 9. And it's been a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to check those out. Leave ideas for topics and ideas, stuff you want me to talk about, ideas for the vlogs. And yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, that's it for this one. So I'll catch you next time.